Halloween came to Clydebank every October, just as it did to places less scary throughout the year.
Dismissing the boys' brigade parade the week before All Hallows Eve, the skipper had bellowed at us all,
"Not to forget to come in costume next Friday!"
shaking his head as our neat ranks broke to a rowdy rabble, surging up the church hall stairs to the chip shop. "What are you going as?" Neil Waugh asked wee Doc. "Ninepence worth." "Colin Stein," said wee Doc. "Ninepence worth." "Me too," said Neil Waugh.
"Ninepence worth what?" demanded the chip shop man.
"Ninepence worth, please," said wee Doc and Neil Waugh in bored chorus, shaking their heads. At some point during the week, I must have mentioned the costume requirement for next Friday to my dad.
"What do you want to go as?" he asked.
Colin Stein, I said.
"Who's he?" said my dad.
"Why, he's the..." I didn't get to finish.
"Ivanhoe," said my dad. "Why don't you go as Ivanhoe?"
"Who's he?" I asked.
"You know," said my dad, "from that book I gave you. Ivanhoe." It's difficult handling people who don't know who Colin Stein is. The gap in their knowledge is so immense. And explaining to them who he is, well, won't make much difference. There's no point.
If you do know who Colin Stein is, then you naturally respect his achievements. You comprehend his significance. You recognise his position in the firmament of fame. You're normal. But if you haven't heard of him, well, I'm afraid you're probably the sort of person who thinks there are more important matters to bother about.
Weightier concerns, more pressing things. Or you're a bit odd. Elements of the former applied to my dad.
And a tad of the latter. At a loose end one day, I trailed in to see him in his study and asked if he could think of anything I could do.
"You could read this," he suggested, digging a slab-thick, cloth-bound, dusty tome out from an old box of books someone or other had given him. "Ivanhoe," he said.
"Who's he?" I asked.
"A knight," said my dad. "A crusader knight." I had given it a go. Flat out in the bed, the orange polyester covers crackling with static under my nylon shirt. The book wasn't quite so electric. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it had all the makings of a good read.
Loyal pig-herds, treacherous nobles, monks who were really warriors who were really brave, jousting, feasting, beautiful heroines, all that sort of stuff. But by the time I persevered, fully 70 pages in, the only mention of Ivanhoe himself was someone wondering if anyone had heard of the guy recently. And the answer was no. I'm not sure who he is, I told my dad.
"Don't worry," he said. "I'll help you with the costume." Corrugated cardboard is very versatile.
From a geese banana box, my dad fashioned with a Stanley knife a rough but serviceable long tunic, which I wore by poking my head through a hole and secured by tying at the waist with brown hairy string, of which my dad had acquired from someone or other a couple of lifetimes' supply.
On the front of this tunic, he painted a red
Crusader's cross.
Then, swiftly adapting a Thai tea carton to form a tall helmet,
My dad completed his handiwork by painting the letter I on either side of the crown.
"That's so they'll know you're Ivanhoe," he said.
What if they think I'm geese? I asked. The branding of the box's original purpose was still pretty visible. Or Typhoon.
"Tell you what," said my dad, "I'll get you something that'll show them you're Ivanhoe." Dubiously, I followed him through to the living room, into the kitchen, out the back door, where he opened his shed. There, my dad kept his gardening tools, hooked on a row of nails.
From this range, he selected a hoe. A long wooden hoe. Longer than me. Older than him. Its once green metal blade, crusted with the earth of the last usage of summer weedings a couple of months back. "There," said my dad, presenting me with the final piece of my costume. "Ivanhoe! Ivanhoe!"
It was with some trepidation that I descended the stairs to the boys' brigade on Halloween Friday evening. Each step taking me lower, deeper, down and down to the dank alley which ran alongside the church at river level. Sometimes the high autumn tides would burst the Clyde's banks and fill the church hall with oozing tarry water, and BB would be cancelled. No such luck tonight though. A couple of raucous Colin Steins charged past me and disappeared through the lit doorway. I could hear the excited lads already inside, acclaiming the disguises of these new arrivals. I opened the door, complete in cardboard costume. I turned left in the little corridor and, manoeuvring manfully my outsize hoe in the tight enclosed space, pushed left again into the hall. And there I stood, Ivanhoe, all eyes turned on me. All the men who ran the boys' brigade, Willie Fettis the skipper, Davy Curwood, Ian Hendry, Gordon Renfrew, Archie Sweeney, the able deputies, and all the other boys too. They all turned to look at me. All the other boys in their own costumes, 25 of them. 25 other boys in pretty much identical outfits. 25 boys who had all decided to come as Colin Stein. Colin Stein, of course, was the centre forward for Glasgow Rangers at the time. The striker, the goal scorer, and the matched ranks of the 5th Clydebank Boys Brigade had properly chosen to honour his Colinness by dressing up as him at Halloween, which simply meant putting on their ranger strips, their white shorts, the red and white socks, the royal blue shirts with a big number 9 in the back. So, there they all were. We shall put Colin Steins, fat and lardy Colin Steins, fit and healthy Colin Steins, scaly, specky Colin Steins, all staring at me. Ivanhoe. "Who are you supposed to be?" asked the skipper. I mumbled. I stumbled, even interrupting myself with a burst of disloyalty. It was my dad's idea. Then, gathering composure again, I brandished my gardening implement and continued. "I'm Ivanhoe." The men erupted with laughter. Willie, Davy, Ian and Gordon and Archie
Absolute snorts, guffaws and knee slaps, riotous whoops. Seems it was the funniest thing they'd heard in a long time. And I suppose, seeing this sad little figure in his cardboard costume standing there delivering the punchline did add an element of the ridiculous to what's not a bad gag to begin with. Ivanhoe! Chuckled Davy Coward, slapping me on the back. Ivanhoe! Ivanhoe! Chortled Willie Fetis, shaking his head. Who's he? Asked one or some of the Colin Steins. He's a knight, bawled back Willie Fetis. Don't none of yous know nothing? A Crusader knight, Davy Coward added. Aye, hailed Willie Fetis. A Crusader knight! They gave me the prize for best costume. A Caramac bar. Cloying, gunky tasting chocolate, which did something strange to your nasal passages. Strange but not unwelcome. I suppose they could have given it to the best Colin Stein. But I mean, what's your criteria? I mean, is it the boy who just happens to look most like Colin Stein? 6 foot tall, blonde, muscular? Or the boy with the best Ranger strip? And that just means the boy with the richest parents. No. On these occasions, it's obviously best to give the Caramac to Ivanhoe. Even if that Ivanhoe is a bit diffident about standing out from everyone else in quite such spectacular fashion. Bear in mind, I was just a wee boy at the time. Still pretty shy on occasion. Far from the ludicrously confident, annoyingly extrovert, and largely shameless brute. My wife says that I lack the embarrassment gene. The largely shameless brute, which you see before you today. And it was that Halloween night at the Boys' Brigade which went a long way towards making me the man I am now. It taught me a powerful lesson, a valuable lesson. And what, dear viewer, I hear you inquire, was that lesson? The lesson I learned was that when everyone else is being Colin Stein, sometimes it's okay to be Ivanhoe. How did you get on? Asked my dad when I got home. I won, I said. I won.
Back in 1883, wondering what was going to be. 30 boys